Mezonic Productions.
Yeah, African king to hip hop. Mezonic, shake it like it from the jungle. Hit it back like Panther. Show your rhythm of the bongos. Do it like you from Congo. Do it like you from LIB, Ghana or Niger. Shake it from Kenya, South Africa and Libya. African culture, African culture, African culture. We love African culture, African culture, African culture, African culture. We love African culture. They wanna steal a culture.
How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, I guess. Warmer than usual for this time of year.
That's right. Today is February the 21st in 2018, and we're gonna be talking a little bit about the movie Black Panther, and also you wanted to speak about something else before that, so I'll just let you go into it.
We were going to talk a little bit about this gun control thing in the I say gun control, but in the aftermath of this horrific shooting that took place down in Parkland, Florida.
Okay, so as far as that situation, I mean, we've been hearing about mass shootings back to back. Actually, the news said it's been like 18 school shootings so far since January, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, we're just, what, a month and a half, 2 months into the new year? And at least that's what they're saying. Either way, too many shootings or not. I've seen some reports where it hadn't been really quite 18, but you're splitting, I mean, potatoes and potatoes. The point is, we've had a lot of shootings to open up this new year. Now
so I was gonna ask you this, because I know you have a lot to say about that, but what can we really do about stopping, not slowing down, completely stopping?
It's so many pulleys in this machine, and when I say that, I mean the various aspects of society, to your point, to stop it. We're not going to do a damn thing to stop a damn thing. When I think about all of the mechanics involved, let me say this real quick. Yes, I'm a firm believer that every citizen should have the right to carry a weapon, obviously.
Okay.
The big question: every citizen should have the right, as the founding fathers, I think, set up, to bear arms. We get that. I think that's a common sense thing. We get emotional, and maybe to a degree rightfully so, when these idiots are able to acquire weapons like this. Now, I've served in the military, as you know.
Okay.
And these semi-automatic to automatic weapons, they are specifically designed in war, where you have to take out an advancing army or enemy, and you want to get as many of them as you possibly can. An AK-47 in an automatic, that makes perfect sense.
Okay.
I do agree with the proponents who say, what does a 19-year-old need with that kind of weapon versus having a 38, 45 or a shotgun to protect you and your family? Makes perfect sense.
Okay.
What doesn't make sense, how did this young man, and we hear these in these stories one after another, the so-called telltale signs of his mental stability or lack thereof and so forth. Somehow he managed to get through this background check. So that's another component of that pulley system.
Okay.
The background check. Throw in what I call the kumbaya feeling of America's judicial system, where the young man, at his arraignment, they have already laid the groundwork, apparently, to let America know he does not deserve the death penalty.
Wow.
Which I don't even, I'm having somewhat of a hard time.
He's not underage. He's 19, right?
Right.
So he's an adult. He's not even a minor.
But again, that other pulley system I'm talking about in America, the kumbaya, we want you to have pity on this individual because he really wasn't in his right mind Then you throw in the other pulley component of the NRA and all of the lobbying they do and the pressure that they put on the congressmen, senators, and you know what else to keep their agenda open. But at the end of the day, automatic weapon versus a non-automatic weapon shouldn't be in the hands of a person unless they are part of a war machine or something like that, to where we have to take out a lot of people at a quick period of time.
Let me just say something before I forget my point. But when I look at all these mass shootings, the first thing that comes to my mind is every time I see a mass shooting, I'm like, what are they doing different? So they'll talk about it on the news for about 2 weeks, and that's if they're gonna even talk about it for 2 weeks. Most of the time it's about a week, and it's swept under the rug. We forget about it. After we forget, maybe a few more weeks down the road, another one happens, and this is just a trend. So you got to start asking questions like, why am I seeing situations like there was a situation in Charlotte specifically where an African-American guy who had some type of mental issue, he was running around with a knife in the neighborhood, and he got killed. He got gunned down by the cops. He got shot. They didn't try to arrest him to figure out what was going on in his brain. He wasn't posing a threat to any specific individual, but yet and still he got gunned down. And this has been a thing where I've seen situations where, except for that one or two situations, they had the shooting with this guy. If you could remember, there was a shooting in Atlanta, Georgia, with a guy in the courthouse, and he went on a shooting rampage. He was an African-American brother, and he went on a shooting rampage. Basically, he got the judge and some other people he killed in that situation. I think he's in jail, if I'm not mistaken. Prison, I should say. I don't know if they try to put him on the death penalty or anything like that. But he's like one in a million cases where a black person would do something like that and still live to tell the story. You see where I'm getting at?
Well, I was saying before, with those other machines, with those other, using that analogy of all of those other aspects coming into these mass shootings and gun control, you brought in that other component that will never get straightened out, and you brought in the racial component.
Of course.
Used the word African American. These were black Americans who did all of this. That's another topic for another day. But anyway, I think we've had that topic. But on everything I just said about what they could do about the gun control with these mass shootings, then throw in the racial component, and there you go.
Right.
Now, some people would say, I don't know, 5 out of 10 people might say, had this Nicholas Cruz been a 19-year-old black man,
right,
that you witnessed gun down 17 people, he was premeditated in his actions. I think he even made a sobering statement on Facebook a few days prior to, and all of this. Some would argue if this was an 18, 19-year-old black male gunning these people down, he wouldn't have seen the light of day. They'd have blown his brains out as he tried to mingle
he will not
the
live
crowd and all of this. So
he will not live to tell the story.
We got a whole nother deal going on with that. But another thing I want to point out that I saw today, I was having lunch today at McDonald's, and I can't remember his name and all until I get back to my own computer in my office and put things together, but I was quite impressed and irritated on a couple of fronts all at the same time. And what I mean by that, today CNN was interviewing a congressman who represents the Hispanic congressional caucus. You know, we have a congressional black caucus, and other minorities have their own caucuses within the government that apparently represent their people's unique needs and what they want from the government. I can't remember his name. He was a Democrat from his Hispanic caucus, and when the lady from CNN, the anchor, you know how they do, split screen. She's on one side and they're talking to the person about the particular issue.
Right.
And the issue was Trump is so self-centered and narcissistic, and I'm paraphrasing what
he
the
said.
Hispanic congressman was saying. He
yeah.
tweeted a very, in my opinion, strong tweet.
Right.
Apparently, President Trump has made unbelievable statements about the FBI, and if they weren't so concentrated on the Russian probe, they would have been able to do a better job and maybe have averted this shooting down in Parkland.
Right.
Which we know, a shooting in Parkland, a Russian probe, people being kidnapped, fugitives on the run. The FBI, that's why they're such a large organization, is because they have all kind of issues they've got to deal with.
Right.
The congressman from the Hispanic caucus tweeted, and I'm paraphrasing, he tells Trump in a tweet on how ridiculous his statements were, and he also went on to show that a lot of people in America, your average American citizen, doesn't know what's going on, and I'm here to tell them what's going on. The CNN anchor, I don't know what her name was, she used his tweet and used the word, I believe, counterproductive, or it was, in her mind, it was a very
disrespectful,
kind of disrespectful but strong statement, and challenged the Hispanic congressman on it. I wish I knew exactly what the words were, but forgive me, America, I'm just paraphrasing right now. I was so moved by it. That Hispanic congressman did not budge.
Right.
She was trying to be politically correct, and he basically said, I don't give a damn. I'm here to tell the American people who really don't know what's going on. And she tried to make it sound like, was your tweet really constructive? It came off as sort of strong. This president hasn't shown anything where he deserves any kind of respect of any kind for being even presidential about the office. And
right.
What irritated me even more, I don't recall congressional Black caucus members even making statements specifically other than Maxine Waters.
Okay.
Where are our Black male congressional Black caucus members? This was a Hispanic male caucus member for his group, and he was very unapologetic in
right.
the point he was trying to get across.
So okay, for me,
and I love him for that.
So I'm gonna briefly drive home a few points about this whole gun laws and mass shooting situation, or just crime in general. My thing is, I have a few points to make on this. And number one, in order to stop or at least reduce it, it has to be equality in the justice system for all individuals, whether you're white, Black, or Hispanic, or whatever.
Keep hope alive, Mason.
Well, but I'm trying to spill out some possible solutions here.
Keep hope alive.
You know, but if there is equality, then, you know, you could start looking at people for what they are and what they have done, as opposed to just looking at them for the race situation, number one. Number two, if somebody does a mass shooting like that to where it's going to affect the entire nation emotionally, then you have to give them tougher punishments. You can't just say we're going to use this person to do psychological tests and just see what's going on in their brains and stuff like that. I don't like that. Give them the same punishment as you would give a Black person, not necessarily saying kill them. If you're going to keep them alive and put them in prison, do the same thing for all the other individuals. That's what I'm saying. So the justice system is broken. Then the other aspect of this
That's
is
an understatement.
The other aspect of this is the NRA. The NRA is out here. Every time this stuff happens, they're out here, and I mean, I don't have direct proof, but I know for a fact that they're doing this. They're giving politicians money through lobbyists in Washington, D.C., You know, to basically, I'm gonna pay you to shut up. I'm gonna give you this money and don't say a word about this incident. If you're interviewed about it, just say we're gonna try to work on something, and that's that. So that in itself is a problem, and that in itself just proves that this stuff will continue until something real happens as far as a law that's going to be put in place that will really affect the masses. So that's my point about it. Let's talk briefly about the movie Black Panther, and what's your take on the whole situation with that film?
Well, without spoiling it, and I don't think I could ever spoil it, but my thing with Black Panther, like other movies, number one, I went to go see the movie its debut weekend. Man, they're breaking records left and right. A good movie, an entertaining movie. Now, obviously, I'm a guy who's gonna look through it through probably 25 or 30 lenses. The only thing my main issue with this, and I'm probably climbing up Mount Everest again with my black people, do your research, know what you're watching, and understand what you're watching. Again, most black people don't think critically about a damn thing.
Right.
And most black people actually believe that movies are designed for entertainment, versus movies also want to send signals on ideologies of the people who are making the movies. Why is the movie being made at a certain time? I'm very doubtful as to the average brother walking the street. Has he even thought about why is a so-called black movie breaking all of these records? Theaters across the country are being sold out, and white America is not even offended. That's just to me, that ought to be one flag. Of course, I got 30 that I could raise, but we don't have time to get into them.
Right.
But anyway, understand that Marvel Comics is owned by Disney.
Of course.
Understand
that it's a white-owned company
and mindsets behind these movies. And when you go see the movie, again, entertaining, special effects are wonderful. And again, Black America, keep in mind that this is a fictional character from a comic book. It would have been nice to have this kind of euphoria over Birth of a Nation, where we finally had a black person do a movie on one of the most iconic black Americans in American history, Nat Turner.
Or Hidden Color.
Hidden Colors has had its day.
Yeah.
Hidden Figures or Hidden Colors by
Tariq
Nasheed.
Right.
But we didn't get anything like that. But we've got a hell of a lot of euphoria and excitement and emotion. Some of it misplaced on a fictional character.
Right.
Good movie, but Black America, do your homework and research and know that there are movies out here designed to make sure that they send a signal, and it's not about entertainment more so than it is about control, mindsets, and agendas that they want to keep putting in your brain.
Right. So, I didn't even watch the movie Black Panther, but what I would say is this. It's still a good thing to see black people excited about something as far as representation of their people in a film.
Mezonic.
Test the mic, 1, 2, 1, 2. This for all my ghetto authors out there. Nah, I mean, yeah, this from your boy, Mezonic. Ghetto authors, think by the future. Ghetto authors, think by the future. Ghetto authors, think by the future. Help the youth to strive for better. 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 Ghetto authors, think by the future. An average rapper is an author and don't even know it. Lyrical poets, every day you show it. Forget about the money, teach the world. The youth get the children, boys and girls. Spit the street knowledge, they appreciate college. Give them your tools so they can flourish. Kids today lacking knowledge, malnourished. Okay, let me drop some game. Not everybody's gonna get a 4-year degree. What's your interest? Do a trade, you see. 6 months, 12 months, however long. MCs put a value on your song. Ain't nothing wrong with telling the truth. Do it my way, my style, like the news. If we all did this, results would improve. Yeah, results would improve. Ghetto authors think by the future. Ghetto authors think by the future. Ghetto authors think by the future. Help the youth to strive for better. 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 Ghetto authors think by the future. You know, this is for the slums and the dungeons of the world. Where some little kids never find peace. Drug dealer target is the priest. Why is that? Cause he's spoiling the feast. Cutting his clients short like a sport. All the fiends changing their lives. Churches packed on a Sunday. Pimped out suits in the pews. Even husbands hugging their wives. Shots ran busting like a orangutan. Church ducking. Emergency plan. What would you do when situation hit the fan? Negative outcomes of society. Little kids stay away from drugs. Even thugs on the run need love. Trust me, ghetto kids need more than hugs. Yeah, they need more than hugs. Ghetto authors think by the future. Ghetto authors think by the future. Ghetto authors think by the future. Help the youth to strive for better. 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 Ghetto authors think by the future. Everybody really can't be a rapper the same way everybody can't be a baller. I'm so far away from a hater. Find your passion, find your hobby. Groupies stay away from lobbies. Know this might sound so controversial. The dude you're chasing, you don't know what he got. He talks about money, speak of it a lot. You think you hit a lotto, you got a pot of gold. The grass is never greener on the other side. Never sell your heart, never sell your soul. Stay true, live a decent life, cause at the end of the night you can sleep right. And that goes for anything, try to play fair. What's in it for me to gain? Who cares? The man upstairs in the angel's chair. Ghetto authors think by the future. Ghetto authors think by the future. Ghetto authors think by the future. Help the youth to strive for better. 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 Ghetto authors think by the future. 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 Help the youth to strive for better. 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 Ghetto authors think by the future.